Cassie Morales woke to the smells of guava pastries, Cuban coffee and brackish wind. The cypress hammock in her parents' weather-worn tin-roofed bed, and breakfast perched where Tulane County Road 379 dissolved into the Florida Everglades always smelled that way on Regatta weekend. Tourists filled the 6 guest rooms, hand-lettered banners fluttered from the veranda, and the screened porch hummed with gossip before sunrise. She padded downstairs, laptop tucked beneath her arm. Her eco-blog Mangrove Musings drew a decent following, and today's assignment, cover the annual Swamp Boat Regatta, would translate into both page views and free publicity for the inn. Cassie found her mother, Elena, at the griddle, sprinkling cinnamon over johnny cakes, while her father, Raphael, wedged life vests into a wooden crate marked Loners. "Sleep?" Elena asked. "About as much as the gators do," Cassie said, stealing a pastry. "Who's up?" "In order of complaining," Raphael answered. "Captain Everett Quinn at the coffee urn, Captain Juniper Price on the porch pretending that plantains are gluten-free, and Captain Dirk Langley still upstairs snoring like an outboard." Dirk Langley, reigning regatta champion, all swagger and white teeth. He had checked in 3 nights ago, ordering espresso as though auditioning for an Italian commercial, and flirting shamelessly with every Morales but Raphael. Last night, Cassie overheard him on the phone, bragging that his refurbished airboat, the Gator Beta, would smoke every swamp rat vessel on the water. Cassie opened her laptop. Draft headline, "Small Town Regatta Brings Big-Time Bravado to the Glades." But before she could type the second line, the screen door slapped and Everett Quinn stomped inside, white captain's cap crushed in his fist. "Somebody tampered with my propeller," he barked. "It's dented like a Coke can." Raphael set down a vest. "Maybe you hit a log during practice." "It was fine at dusk," Everett insisted. "I locked the marina gate behind me." Cassie's reporter brain pricked. Sabotage? Perfect blog fodder. Until she saw the worry flicker across her father's eyes. The family balanced their livelihood on weekends like this. Scandal could empty the reservation book. She squeezed Everett's elbow. "I'll walk down, snap photos and post an alert. The community will pitch in." "Better post a prayer, too," Everett muttered. "I'm not the only target." The marina hugged a channel fringed with cattails and sawgrass. Volunteers stringing pennants paused to gawk at Everett's crippled craft. A U-shaped dent marred one gleaming aluminium blade. Cassie crouched for close-ups. Under magnification, the edge showed neat, deliberate nicks, like bites from a metal file. She texted a photo to Deputy Sloan of Collier County Sheriff's Office, then scanned the docs. Dirk Langley swaggered toward her, mirrored shades catching the sun. "Rough morning for old Everett," he said, almost gleeful. "His propeller was mutilated," Cassie replied. "You seen anything?" "Only my reflection," Dirk said, polishing the Gator Beta's hull. "Looks good, huh?" Cassie eyed his engine new, enormous, overkill. When he sauntered off, she noticed a smear of grey epoxy on the stern deck, still tacky. She snapped another photo. Juniper Junie Price tapped her on the shoulder. The petite captain wore cut-offs, a coil of line slung across her torso like a bandolier. "You trust Langley?" Junie whispered. "He's hiding something." "Besides an ego," Cassie said. "Last night he offered me 10 grand to withdraw from the race," Junie revealed, cheeks flushing. "I told him to shove his money into a gator's mouth." Cassie whistled. She'd stumbled into a stew sabotage, bribery and, if rumors were true, a developer circling like a vulture over roadkill. That developer, Martin Crane, chose that moment to stride onto the pier in loafers far too glossy for Swampwood. He unrolled a banner. Crane Coastal Resorts, future site of luxury living. Volunteers hesitated before tacking it up, but Crane oozed confidence, claiming he was this year's platinum sponsor. Cassie made a note. Platinum came with strings. By 11, engine roars drowned the cicadas. Spectators lined the levee with folding chairs and pastel umbrellas. The Regatta starter Rita Delgado, owner of Airboat Adventures Tour raised her bullhorn. "Captains, on my count!" 5 airboats idled across the starting ribbon of floating pool noodles. Cassie climbed the watchtower for panoramic photos. A drone of dragonflies encircled her lens. 3, 2, 1, go. Engines blasted. The boats lunged forward like water-skimming rockets, rooster tails fanning the sky. Cassie followed Dirk's gator beta. The boat lived up to its name, snapping past cypress knees at staggering speed. Then, halfway to the first buoy, a pop cracked the air, a plume of white smoke erupted from Dirk's stern. The boat fishtailed. Dirk pitched sideways, slammed the throttle, overcorrected, then catapulted into the brown water. The crowd gasped. Somebody screamed. "Gators!" Cassie's camera swung wildly, frame filling with churned mud. The stalled airboat drifted, engines sputtering. Dirk's helmet bobbed once, twice, then disappeared behind a swirl. The other captains cut engines, circled in vain. Deputy Sloane's skiff barreled from the dock, siren whooping. Spectators peered through binoculars, whispering worst-case scenarios. 10 minutes later, Sloane returned, pale. "Couldn't find him," he announced. "Water's too murky. We'll send in divers." Cassie felt her knees buckle. A man was missing, maybe dead, and the Morales family veranda would soon swarm with reporters. She swallowed guilt, cozy blog post indeed. At the inn that evening, storm clouds bruised the twilight. Guests huddled in wicker rockers, speculating. Elena passed key lime pie slices nobody touched. Everett nursed a whiskey, eyes fixed on the swamp like it owed him money. Cassie retreated to the kitchen pantry, dialing her brother Matteo, finishing a marine biology internship in Miami. "You okay?" he asked. "Dirk's gone, saboteur on the loose, Everett's prop mangled, Junie bribed, and Crane waving resort brochures." Matteo whistled. "Classic Florida cocktail, add mosquitoes and shake. Check mechanical evidence. And Cass, mind the gators?" She returned to the dining room, where Rita Delgado whispered with Martin Crane. Rita's ponytail flicked like an anxious iguana. Crane's hand rested on a briefcase. When they noticed Cassie approaching, conversation ceased. Crane flashed crocodile smile. Too many reptiles around here, Cassie thought. The sheriff posted deputies to comb the marsh at dawn. Nevertheless, Cassie woke before first light, tugged on waders and paddled a kayak to the site of the crash. Spanish moss dripped from cypress branches, and every rustle felt predatory. Near the buoy, she spotted something silver lodged between lily pads, a chunk of metal. She fished it out, a sheared bolt glued with the same grey epoxy she'd seen on gator beta. Back at the inn, she compared photos. The bolt belonged to the engine mount. Someone had sawn halfway through, then patched it with epoxy, so it would hold until Torque snapped it. Dramatic, dangerous sabotage. She rang Deputy Sloane, but he replied, "Evidence team swamped, pun intended. I'll send someone when I can." Translation? Never. So Cassie played detective. She biked to swamp True Value Hardware. The clerk, Mr. Patel, recognized her instantly. Eleanor's guava pasties were legendary. "Need epoxy?" he joked. "Actually, yes. Who bought this brand recently?" She displayed a picture. He checked the log. 2 purchases this week, J. Price and M. Crane. Junie? Crane? Cassie couldn't rule either out. Outside, Junie was loading gas cans into her truck. Cassie confronted her with the receipt. "I bought epoxy to mend my paddleboard," Junie said, flipping the lid of a cooler. Inside floated cans of grapefruit seltzer, not illicit gear. "If I wanted Dirk gone, why would I dive into the water to look for him yesterday?" "My GoPro footage proves it." Cassie watched the clip on Junie's phone. Junie, in life vest, diving near the stalled airboat, calling Dirk's name. "Brave, not guilty. Next suspect." Cassie arranged an interview with Crane under the guise of a blog feature on ecotourism investments. He agreed smugly, meeting her in the inn's parlor where her grandmother's oil painting of a roseate spoonbill hung. I champion sustainable luxury, Crane said, crossing ankles. Solar roofs, manatee-friendly docks, but missing captains tarnish tourists' confidence. The county must modernize. Meaning your resort? Cassie said. He smiled. When they see the dangers of outdated mum-and-pop enterprises, they'll welcome my safety standards. Tragic occurrences can accelerate progress. Cassie caught the subtext and the flash of silver on his cufflink same brand emblem as a broken wristwatch. Deputy Sloane found near the buoy last night. She suppressed a shiver. Where were you during the race? She asked. With sponsors in the VIP tent? Crane said. Hundreds witnessed. Yet no one specifically vouched, she knew. VIPs focused on champagne, not attendance. That night rain hammered the metal roof, drumming like panicked heartbeats. Cassie scrolled messages from fearful guests cancelling next weekend. Financial disaster loomed. Footsteps creaked past her door around midnight. She cracked it open. Rita Delgado crept downstairs carrying scuba fins. Cassie tailed her to the marina, sheltering behind sabal palms. Rita loaded fins, wetsuit, and a plastic container into her tour airboat. The container bore biohazard labels. Cassie stepped forward. Rita? Rita jumped. Cassie, go home. What's in the cooler? Rat serum, Rita confessed. For the gators. Cassie's eyebrows climbed. I tag nuisance gators for Fish and Wildlife, Rita explained. Dirk planned to wrestle one after the race idiot stunt for social media. When he crashed, I thought maybe a big bull got him. I'm searching nests for forensic bites. Why sneak? Crane's been pushing ordinances that had shook my business. If he learns gators might have killed Dirk, he'll paint us as backwater death trap. Cassie believed her. Rita's fear radiated sincerity. She warned Rita about the storm surge but handed her 2 flashlights. Allies gained, not suspects. After breakfast, Deputy Sloane announced divers had found nothing except a floating life vest and Dirk's waterproof wallet filled with cash. Odd. Why bring wallet racing? Cassie spread evidence on the inn's blackboard. Everett wandered in, coffee in hand. You charting theories? She nodded, pointing at photos of the sabotaged bull. Who'd benefit? Everett shrugged. If Dirk vanishes, trophy reverts to last year's runner-up, me. But I wouldn't risk prison. Dirk and I were frat brothers. Anyone else made that? Crane. He tried sponsoring my boat. I declined. His resort would bulldoze my grandmother's cabin. Cassie saw puzzle pieces converging. Crane wanted bad press. Dirk loved money. Everett's refusal angered Crane. Could Crane and Dirk stage an accident? She reopened Dirk's wallet. Inside, folded small, was a typed contract. Consulting agreement between Crane Coastal Resorts and Dirk Langley Racing Enterprises. Payment $50,000, 0 cents. Bingo. The signature line bore Dirk's sloppy scrawl dated 2 weeks prior. Cassie photographed it, then called Mateo. Classic insurance scam, he theorized. Dirk pretends to die. Crane shows Everglades as hazardous. Property values nosedive, he buys cheap. But where's Dirk hiding? Find infrastructure, generator hum, campfire smoke, or cell repeaters. And watch tides. Shallow islets emerge at low water. Cassie borrowed Junie's drone. At dawn, mist ribboned above water like ghost silk. She flew the drone along back channels until a blip flashed on screen. A muted campfire on Crescent Mound, an island closed for bird nesting. No one allowed there. She paddled by kayak, camera ready. Halfway, she heard distant putter of an engine. Rita's tour boat. She'd spotted Cassie and followed. Good backup. They beached on soggy sand. Cassie crept toward a camouflaged tarp shelter. Under it sat Dirk Langley, alive, gnawing on beef jerky, engine parts stacked beside him. He froze like a raccoon in headlights. Rita blocked retreat with her boat hook. Eco-boggers travel in pairs now, Dirk sneered. Cassie aimed phone camera. Sabotage, Dirk, contract, bribe, fake death, Care to comment for mangrove musings? Dirk bolted. Rita tripped him. He face-planted into palmetto fronds. Fine, he spat leaves. Crane hired me to stage a wreck. I cut Everett's prop, bribed Junie to drop out. Crane's assistant weakened my bolt with epoxy. I acted clueless, then bailed overboard. Planned to hide out until Crane closed a deal. Gators? Cassie asked. Crane arranged sonar deterrence. Said the area was managed. I had flare gun backup. Rita laughed darkly. Gators don't follow corporate memos. Cassie zip-tied Dirk's wrists with spare cable ties, texted Deputy Sloan their GPS. Rita radioed in. Within the hour, a pontoon of deputies hauled Dirk away. Meanwhile, Crane's SUV screeched into the inn parking lot. News of Dirk's capture traveled fast. Cassie stood on the veranda steps, recording. Crane pointed a lacquered finger. Defamation! You trespassed on private bird sanctuary? Cassie cut him off. Your lease application would have turned it into a helipad, right? Now it's evidence. Deputies cuffed him as well. Fraud, conspiracy, environmental violations. Cameras flashed from gathered press. 3 days later, the county commissioner reinstated the regatta for next month to restore community spirit, and bookings rebounded. Cassie sat on the porch swing, drafting her longest post yet. Corporate crocs, faked fatalities, and the power of local roots. Over 40,000 hits in one afternoon. Everett approached with 2 tropical lemonades. Cheers to citizen detective work, he said. How'd you suspect Dirk? His wallet, she replied. No racer carries cash into a swamp, unless he expects to spend it later. Rita joined, waving a newspaper. Frontier blogger cracks swamp sabotage. Next time we hunt poachers together, she declared. Maybe, Cassie smiled, but first, a nap. Even eco-bloggers need downtime. Elena leaned through the doorway. No napping until you sign copies, she teased, holding printouts of Cassie's article for guests. Cassie gazed across the sun-sparkled water. Egrets strutted, a baby gator sunned on lily pads, oblivious to human follies. The swamp endured, stubborn and sublime, and so did the little inn at its edge. And as long as mysteries slithered beneath the sawgrass, Cassie Morales would be here, camera, kayak, and caffeinated pastries at the ready, guarding her family's slice of paradise from every 2-legged predator that dared disturb it.